security picture, effectively 4K. They have very good tech. But there's an effectively 4K picture of the kaiju with its mouth open after having taken 2 or 3 chews of a mouthful of people.
Oh, bother. I've got brains all over my club. Oh, Christopher Robin, I'm so sorry.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. Yeah, oi. It's a day, and all sorts of things are happening in the world, some good, some bad, but it's the world, and it's the world we have to deal with, so joy on that. It is a sunny day outside. It was chill last night when I went walkies, but pleasant, and it is chill but pleasant this morning, and so it's a very good day, and I hope that you are going to have a very good day as well. I slept moderately well. And yesterday I had therapy, and I talked with my therapist about a whole bunch of stuff. And one thing, he wondered why I was backing off of something, but I'll address that in a moment. Because, of course, shorter this time, but hey, for the YouTube algorithms, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very awesome. If you could leave me a comment, I love every comment I get and answer as many as I can. And I want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. He said after just doing this, but normally he's got his hands down like this, but I'm doing it this way today. Each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these beautiful and awesome people, are literally beautiful and awesome. They help to keep me alive, they help to keep my pets alive, and that is greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up and a thank you. If you would like to become one of these beautiful and awesome people and help to keep me and my pets alive, there are links in the show more. Thumbs up and thank you so much. Front loading of YouTube videos over. Thank you, machine language algorithms. Machine language, machine learning algorithms. I'm so used to ML as a shorthand for machine language for programming. So yeah, it's been a day. And of course, 2 days ago, I went to the Department of Social and Health Services to get my EBT, my food stamps, turned back on so I can eat. While I was there, I don't know, sister-in-law? I guess it's still sister-in-law, even though, we're not really connected since her sister is perished. My wife died, but still my sister-in-law informed me that my in-laws had perished as well, which meant that the 5 people that were, involved in my marriage, myself, my wife, my 2 parents, her 2 parents, of the 5 people that were there, there's just me still left. And yesterday, though, which I think shows that I am doing good on a lot of ways. Because yesterday I started laughing inside of my head, and I had to tell my housemates about this, how, yeah, there were the 5 of us, the 3, my parents and my wife, we all moved us to Shelton, and then my 2 other in-laws, and now they're all there, but I'm still standing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I have won this round in the Battle Royale. It's appalling. It is horrendous to think about that way, but it's also funny. I mean, my housemates laughed and were appalled at the same time, so thumbs up for that. Which, I do want to say this real quick. Here's a real quick bit of inside Razor's Edge world building stuff. I've wanted to talk about this for a time because I've mentioned it partially before. In the town of Apple Rock, where the Apple Rock kaiju gets up, rampages, and eats half the town during the major focal point of the project that I'm working on. I've mentioned how there's that massive sense of community that comes from this waste gas that comes out, breaks down into compounds, and builds a sense of community and more. One of the characters that I'm writing about, she and some others, they actually come in she's from the outside, goes into the Razor's Edge with some friends, and they go to the inside, to the Crimson Kingdom, to try and cheer up this one person because all of her family died. Every single one of her living relatives, all eaten. She's the only one left. And that was a fairly extensive family. And so she's kind of appalled, not doing well, and so they take her into the Crimson Kingdom, and they talk about stuff, and things go better, and then they come out, and it's good that way. And I'm trying to remember where I was going. Yes, I can remember now. I'm trying. Yes. Oh God, I hate ADHD. But this rampage by the kaiju was over and above any sort of rampage from even historical records that they have. Yes, way in the past, there have been stories and such about how the kaiju would just depopulate the area entirely, but that was only when there were like 3,000-4,000 people. Now there was a town, city of 25,000 people, and it rampaged, and it ate 12,000 people. That's a lot of people. The whole town has been city has been rocked back on its heels, having troubles trying to deal with this, because normally they understand how callous they sound, but the previous rampage before this one, the kaiju had only eaten around 650 odd people. Less than 700, more than 650. And everyone's like, what's the big deal? It ate less than 1,000 people. It's not like it's a problem. They know how callous it sounds. They don't know that it's also because of those compounds from the waste gases emitted by the kaiju itself. But they quickly, after every rampage, get back up and start moving, because that's what all of those compounds do to their brains. It takes 2 months for this to happen, because this was a huge thing. It rocked everyone back on their heels. But they could tell things were starting to change when 2 months after it, that main character, who loses like close to 20 members of her family, all just eaten by the kaiju, she's out and she sees a t-shirt maker who's made a bunch of t-shirts and is selling them. And it says something along the lines of, I survived Apple Rock, December 23, CE 1114, which is, that's the date. It was December 23rd in the common era of 1114, 1,114 years after the Crimson Kingdom had been set in place by the King in Crimson. And then, it's got the date and all that, in a sense, that the rampage on it. And it's got a security picture, effectively 4K. They have very good tech. But there's an effectively 4K picture of the kaiju with its mouth open, after having taken 2 or 3 chews of a mouthful of people. So it's got like severed limbs, intestines wrapped around the teeth. It's horrendous. And there's a hand up as well, because getting ready to feed itself the other handful, and this is like claws going into the people to hold them in place. There is death and murder in that picture. And she goes, oh, that's horrendous. I gotta get one. You guys want one? I'm gonna buy one for all of us. And then where's it? The compounds do terrible, terrible things to you. I mean, they're not terrible in that you feel good, because after all, that sense of community, that sense of family is powerful. You like everyone around you. It's really, really good, and if you try to leave, you come back. So, yeah, they know it looks callous. They know it looks awful. Anyone from outside of Apple Rock that sees that t-shirt with a high-res picture from a security camera of, that's probably about 30 dead people on it. And it's to make people feel good. And it does. Oof. But I just wanted to mention that. Past that, I had therapy yesterday. I talked with my therapist. I told him a lot about what was going on with my cryptid stuff. I've been waiting a full week to talk with him about that. I also mentioned with him how I'm backing off a bit from the cryptid stuff because it's a bit heavy. As a reminder, my stories about the razor's edge and all that, while they may be violent, while a lot of people may get eaten, they are still primarily stories of hope. Accepting inevitabilities. Sometimes you have to accept that your life is going to end painfully and messily in about 2 or 3 seconds. Most of the time, it's just you're adapting to a changing world and going forward. There's stories of hope. You may have a situation, you lose a limb, you adapt, you keep going forward. Those are stories of ultimately hope. And the cryptid tales are more stories of people that are victimized and brutalized by fate and circumstances beyond their control. And instead of hope, they're just dragging their bleeding bodies through the mud, trying to find a hole that they can just crawl into, where they can lick their wounds and just die in peace. Part of it is, yeah, that's a bit heavy because I had not planned on that. My cryptid stories have been, stories about tales of identity, struggles for all this, grief and mourning. I hadn't planned on it becoming so grim. And when I said I was backing off on it, he said, well, why are you doing that? Well, part of it is, yeah, because it's so dark and that caught me by surprise, but part of it is also, I can't guide the creativity. I discovered by letting it percolate that this is what it's turned into. If I try to just lean into that, it's going to be guided creativity and it's not going to work as well. So now I'm just letting it percolate as good as possible, as well as it can. That's better English. So that hopefully all of the edges, when I pop it into the story, it'll fit like a perfectly made 3-dimensional puzzle piece, instead of something that I'm having to keep pulling off, whittle out this part, try and get it in there, and then just bang it in until it fits. I don't want to do that. I like the way that I've been working with the whole percolation thing. It's longer of a process because of the way my brain works. If I could have done this in a month instead of the year and some that it's taken me, oh yeah, I would have done that. I'd do that in a heartbeat. But I need to have it percolate. I can't push it that way. So it's only the slowness of the process that bothers me, not the actual process itself. And that is just, again, I got the trifecta, of depression, ADHD, and being on the autism spectrum. So as a quick thing to the side too, I discovered from various people that I was getting diagnosed by that, yeah, tinnitus, or tinnitus, depending on how you pronounce it, that ringing in your ears gets loud, really loud when you have ADHD. Ever since I've stopped my ADHD meds, oh my God, it's so loud again. I can't say it's deafening, but good God Almighty, that tinnitus is just awful sometimes. So yeah, I gotta call up my med manager today. That's what I needed to do, because I can't get my blood pressure to come back down to normal. It's not going up as high as it did. I mean, I'm going to have a stroke numbers on my blood pressure before. It was like 198 over 98. And when you've got that big of a gap between the numbers, that is an indication of mounting pressure inside of your head. So yeah, I pressure tested my circulatory system, and thank God it passed. My blood pressure now is anywhere from like 125 over 83 to 148 over 89. I can't get it back down because it used to be like 113/70, and now it's bumped way up here. That ain't good. So I gotta call my med manager to let her know what's going on, and I gotta call my regular primary care provider through the VA to let them know what's going on, because if I gotta go on meds until I can get this figured out, then I gotta go on meds. I already know that because I do walkies and I'm in such good shape, if I hadn't been doing this, I'd probably already be dead of a stroke. Oof. And of course, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. That's never an incredible amount. And I can never tell what YouTube is going to do. Previous days, I've gotten hundreds of views on my videos. Yesterday's videos, less than 100 each. So I never know what's going on. So I can never tell what's going to happen with the comments. You know, YouTube algorithms, thumbs up for that. But if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I can't American Sign Language, well, you already know how my memory works. I got lost in the middle of talking about something as I was talking about it. So here's hoping I can keep up here. We have Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you very much. Hrot is so difficult right now and I'm entirely out of ammo. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. We'll see what happens. Nico Quinta, thumbs up and thank you. Rayanne Khan, thumbs up, greatly appreciated. Devesh Kumar, greatly appreciated. And then we have Kylie Griffin, thumbs up and hello. Flora Mew, thank you very much for once again leaving comments. I've been hoping to hear your words about the whole Malik cryptid thing, but I don't like to push because that's rude, as you may have entirely valid reasons for not wanting to comment or do that. So I've still been eager though, but good to see you in the comments. And then we have Big T, thumbs up and thank you. It's a very good game. It rocks. Brenda Webb, thumbs up and thank you very much for the idea. Jay with 2 Y's, thank you very, very much. And boy, I change everything, except I forgot to change this today. I'm very, very sorry. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. We have Foster, greatly appreciated. ADH Daniels, thumbs up and thank you very much. And I like the name, that's very cool. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Here, Chalky, greatly appreciated. There is Granny Gamma, Gamah, and Chai. So, I don't know. Is this 10 people or did I just screw up my counting? I don't know, but thank you each and every one of you that left me comments to get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and that's a definite thumbs up. And with my hands in the air, of course, don't know what device you're watching this on, but whatever it is, I've got various links to all my various channels, as well as my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon inside of the video description. And again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are, well, literally beautiful and literally awesome. And hopefully I'm able to keep my hands in the air for the appropriate length of time. You know, having my hands up when the words are on the screen. I can't keep my head in working order. You gotta love ADHD. But thank you each and every one of those beautiful and awesome people. If you'd like to help me out with that, become a patron. I do have a PayPal link down below, and I do have an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food, so if you could check that, that'd be very awesome. And of course, if you toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, and if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that too would be very cool. And again, if you ever wonder why I do all the hand stuff, I've talked with my hands all my life and only recently discovered that because I am on the actual autism spectrum, this is just my form of stimming. There's my explanation. I know now why I do it, so thumbs up. And hey, I got phone calls that I want to make today, but past that, it's kind of a slow day. It's the end of the week. You know, I still got stuff I want to do, but it's not intensely imperative that it get done. And hopefully the things that you have to do are the same. Not life or death or intensely imperative, but just, hey, stuff that you'd like to get done. And if you don't, that's cool too. That's a squeaky voice. You know what the Covfefe bug is still doing around the world. You know what your precautions are in your area. Be cautious. There are still people like me that mask up around in town, especially when they go into stores, and I am very appreciative of that. The early ones that drop all the things are the ones that get mauled when stuff goes wrong. Be smart, be cautious, be the last to drop your defenses. But until we meet again, you take care. That's kind of a crazed look there, isn't it? You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And quite frankly, I do think that that is a very good idea.